Hello, so I thought I'd just do a quick video explaining what Sequence Director is and how you use it. So basically it's an editing tool for iRacing replays. So if you pick a point in the replay where you want to cut to a different car or a different camera, Sequence Director will then automatically cut between those shots during playback. And then once you've got a sequence of shots that you like, you can record it using iRacing's video capture tools or OBS Studio. So even if you're not familiar with editing or anything like that, you can still get a video that's ready to upload to YouTube with just iRacing and Sequence Director. If you'd rather edit your races using software like Premiere Pro or DaVinci Resolve, you can use this to record pre-edited shots in one clip, instead of having to time your edits of lots of different clips. So yeah, if you think that'd be useful, then I'll show you how to use it. Okay, so just a quick overview of the interface. I think most of it's fairly obvious, but you've obviously got your drivers on your left, cameras on the right, and this central area here is the nodes that you've saved. So you can click and skip through them. You've got a little timeline here to show you where you are in the replay. This is used to store the nodes, but you can skip through them as well. Obviously it's greyed out now unless you decide you want to change your camera. These are the playback controls. Here you can start the recording, and these are the buttons for skipping sessions and laps. One thing worth mentioning that's not always obvious is it's resizable, so if you want to save some space you can shrink it down, and like the driver panels will become drop downs, and you can turn some of these back on if you think they're useful. So yeah, as you can see, if you're on a single screen, this is quite useful. Okay, so this is what you'll see when you load up Sequence Director and iRacing for the first time. What I tend to do is skip to the race, and you'll see that it's just as the lights are going green, so I tend to pick a different camera. And now we'll get it to where I've just about to select a gear, and then pick a different camera. And usually what I do is I make this first node so that I've got a point where the replay starts. So if I'm recording, I can just click on this node and I'll always be put at the start of the replay. And obviously if I want to preview it as well, I can just click this and jump back. So I'll pick a different camera, and this is obviously, you pick a camera, you pick a car, you click store node. If you've got one selected, you can change them with update node. So there we go, that's that camera. And what I normally do now is I'll just play through the replay a little bit. I'll play through the start and then get to a point where I want to cut to a different camera, so I'll just do that now. Okay, so I'll jump back a car, and I'll go for the left front suspension. And this is it really. This is the entire process. It's just a case of finding positions where you want to change the angle, storing a new node, playing it through again. And then when you've made a couple of cuts, just jump back and I'll have a look what that looks like. There we go. I don't like the last one, so I'll delete it. And yeah, that's pretty much the entire process. It's just doing this until you get to a point where you've either done your whole replay or however long you want to do. So what I'll do now is I'll shut up and do a lap of this and then pipe up if there's anything worth noting. I usually, and this is not something you have to do, but I normally try and cut or change camera angles when there's a gear change. You don't have to do it, it just sounds better, I think. You don't get massive differences in volume level. Again, I like to jump back quite a little bit to the last node just to see the sort of preview the transition. As you can see on some of the TV cameras, you get really cool looks where the camera just pans across instead of getting a hard cut. So yeah, that's me editing very briefly a lap together. I'll play it back now and you can see what it looks like in its entirety. Okay, so that's Sequence Director. I've written guides for setting up the recording tools and custom cameras in the GitHub page, which I'll stick in the description. But if there's any other questions, then put them in the comments or on the iRacing forums, and I'll do my best to answer them. Cheers.